name is Afshar, and this presentation reflects my journey during my professional placement, which was for the toddlers 0 to 2 years old. And I'm studying a graduate diploma of early childhood from Acknowledge Education. So here I will explain how I made the Australian professional standards for teachers using examples from my practice. I will discuss how I supported children's learning, planned experiences, and created a positive environment, accessed learning, and worked with families and colleagues. This reflection has helped me understand my development as an educator and areas I can improve in the future. So this presentation demonstrates how I made Australian professional standards through my placement experience. Moving forward, so the second slide is how know your students and how they learn. So according to the Australian Professional Standard Teaching 1, during my placement, I observe children to understand their learning needs. I used observation notes to identify how children learns and what engages them. For example, I noticed some children preferred hand-on activities while others needed more guidance. And I then planned a differentiated activities where children were given different levels of support, and based on their abilities, this allowed all children to participate and feel successful. And here, as shown in my artifacts, I use dramatic play materials and books to support children's interest. So in my future artifacts and in my future practice, I will continue observing children regularly and use this information to plan inclusive learning experience that support all learners. The next slide is according to the Australian Professional Standard Teaching 2, I demonstrated my understanding of content and teaching strategies by creating lesson plans linked to early years of learning framework. These ensured that learning experiences were meaningful and supported children's development. I used play-based learning to teach concepts such as language and social skills. For example, I planned activities and that encourage children to communicate and solve problems during play. As shown in my artifacts, I use shaped and numbers used to support early years concepts. In my future practice, I will continue to plan activities linked to the curriculum and use different teaching strategies to support children's learning. The next slide is according to the APSD3, I plan and implemented effective teaching strategies by developing weekly program plans. These particular plans included clear learning goals and structured activities. I implemented learning experiences that encourage children to explore, interact, and participate actively. As shown in my artifacts, I plan activities such as sorting, colors, and music experiences. So in my future practice, of course, I will continue planning meaningful learning experiences and I reflect on my teaching to improve outcomes for the children. So the next is according to the APSD4, I created a safe and supportive learning environment during my placement, and I use positive behavior guidance strategies to support children's social and emotional development. I also ensured the environment was organized, safe, and inclusive. For example, I made sure resources were accessible to children's so children could explore independently. I use encouraging language to build children's confidence. So as shown in my artifacts, I created a calm and safe space during soft play areas And in my future practice, I will continue to create supportive environments and use respectful communication to support all children. So the next is according to the APST5. I assess children's learning using observations and assessment records, and these help me understand children's progress in future activities. I also provided feedback through encouragement and guidance during the activities. Like as shown in my artifacts, I use organized materials to support observation and planning. In my future practice, I will continue using assessment strategies and provide meaningful feedback. I will also communicate children's progress with families. The next slide is according to the APST6. I engaged in professional learning by reflecting on my teaching and seeking feedback. I use this feedback to improve my teaching practices and develop my skills. As shown in my artifacts, I reflected on the use of developmentally appropriate resources, and in my future practice, I will continue reflecting on my teaching and participate in professional development opportunities to improve my knowledge and skills. The next slide is according to the APST7. I work professionally with families and colleagues. During my placement, I shared information about children's learning and participated in team discussion. And as shown in my artifacts, I contributed to creating engaging learning environments with my team. And in future practice, I will continue building strong relationship with families and colleagues and communicate effectively to support children's learning. Definitely. So to conclude, this presentation has helped me reflect on my professional learning and development, and I have developed skills in planning, teaching, and building relationship with children's family, educators, and colleagues. I now understand the importance of reflective practices and continuous improvement. So overall, this experience has prepared me to become a more confident and reflective educator. And these are the references that I've put in, which has been taken from the Australian Children Education and Care Quality Authority 2018, the second Australian Government Department of Education 2022, that's belonging, being, and becoming, that's the early years of learning framework for Australia, and the third is Early Childhood Australia 2016, that's the Code of Ethics. Bowlby J 1988, a secure-based parent-child attachment and healthy human development. Vygotsky LS 1978, that's the Mind in Society, the development of higher psychological processes. And the last is Shankov JP and Phillips DA 2000, from neurons to neighborhoods, the science of early childhood development. Thanks for watching my video.